Hi, thank you so much for joining me for day 16 of 365 Days of Art. Day 15 is still hanging out behind me here. For today, we are going to be working on clouds. I wanted to scale it back from trying to create full pictures to working on just one thing at a time, because I feel like that's where I've fallen short on my self-education and where I think a lot of self-taught people kind of fall short and make mistakes, is that you learn a little bit and then you get really excited and you want to make whole paintings, when really you need to zero in and do perfect on just elements of a painting first. I really enjoyed the way that my clouds came out, but I wanted to revisit just regular clouds. So I want to do fluffy clouds, wispy clouds. Today I think we're going to go for fluffy clouds. Also, I really like the comparison pictures that I do, because those are the best for me to look back and reference and just remind myself something about what I've learned or what I am learning at the time. For today's project, I'm going to keep it really simple. Soft sky background. I'm literally going to use Artesa's blue, sky blue, to lay down the background. And then on the top one, I'm going to attempt to do some clouds just from memory, just what I maybe would visualize a cloud looking like. And then I'm going to look up some reference photos to a similar shape, size of what I was attempting to do, and see if I can't do it better, just to see the difference between what your brain thinks it should be and what you can make when you see what it actually is. Let's give this a shot. I have my soft bristled brush here that I'm going to be using. First, I'm going to put in I have my soft bristled brush that I'm going to be using, so hopefully you guys can follow along as I do this. This top one, again, is just me trying to think of clouds from my imagination and from my memory, using what I did previously, but on a blue sky this time. So you're first going to see me put in a shading color, trying to block out the shapes of my clouds, and then I'm slowly going to add in a lighter color. For the clouds themselves, just various mixtures of titanium white, gray, and sky blue. Let's see what we get. I'm going to go ahead and call these done. I think one of the tricky parts with clouds is that you can just honestly keep adding shadows, keep adding the light part. But I was trying to pay attention to a lot of the tutorials mention the transparentness of clouds is all about not obliterating the background behind them, so you don't want to make them too opaque. These are pretty alright. I'm actually decently happy with them, but I'm still going to pull up a reference photo and try to do some clouds from a reference photo, and we're going to see what difference we get. Again, I'm only using sky blue, titanium white, and gray. And when you see me add colors, and I'm doing a lot of tapping at the edges, especially with a clean brush. I will clean my brush out, wipe it on my towel because I don't want it really wet. I just want the bristles nice and soft. And I'm just tapping out around the different colors to get that very soft, feathery effect. I hope you guys are seeing more and my hand isn't covering up too much of it. I tried changing the angle of my camera, so hopefully you're able to see more what's happening on the canvas. So as we're looking at the two of these, there's good things happening in both. As you can tell, these up here are very round, fluffy, kind of cartoony clouds. And they're not bad for what they are. I could totally use these in a painting. However, it depends on the look I'm going for. If we come down here and we can see where these just have a softer, more realistic quality to them. I could see these better as a background. And that's because by looking at a reference picture, I kind of reminded myself of the softer, weirder shapes of clouds. We always want to think circles, and that's a good way to get the rough shape of them, but you want to keep those little shapes in there, those little oddball shapes, because those are really what, what clouds are. And by looking at a reference picture, it also reminded me I was trying to send this guy up here a little more towards the background. And while he does look a little further away than these two clouds, it's still not quite what I want. Whereas I come down here and I could do a little more with the gradient in my sky to help this. But by looking at a reference photo, this reminds me that clouds that are further away have more shadows on the bottom of them like that. They can be very wispy, but also they're a little more defined. Because when they get closer and we can really look into the clouds and we're not having almost the optical illusion of a solid cloud, the closer you get and you look at them, they become very wispy, which reminds me that I have some shadows in here that are helpful, but when I have little wispies behind them, I don't even want to add shadows to those. I can add little wisps of clouds that come off, and they really are just white. And you get that transparent effect by not making them super opaque and letting that background shine through. Thank you as always for joining me today. I'm really happy with how these came out. Good reminder of the difference between more of a cartoonish look and more of a realistic look. I think the biggest thing I've learned about doing clouds is it is all about layers and about letting that background come through. So if you're not happy with your clouds, slow down, do it in layers. Think about where they're illuminated from. Sometimes they're illuminated from the sun rising or setting, so they're kind of illuminated from beneath, and that creates a really cool shadowy effect. If you're looking for kind of regular daytime clouds, they're going to be illuminated from the top. So when you're adding that titanium white in, that's really all you need, and that's mostly what I use. Yes, I added in that gray and some of those shadows, but after that, I would just add in a little bit of titanium white and just tap it out throughout the clouds and kind of form the shapes and see where I think the highlights really are. And then go through again and add in even more white, and as you layer it and you get that brightness up, that's where you put in all your highlights. Again, just make sure that you don't just paint that all over your cloud. That's why I do a lot of the tapping, is I'm just kind of very gently adding that color in. If you just swipe it on, you're going to obliterate your background and wonder why your clouds are looking just kind of thick and not really that beautiful wispy see-through that we're always wanting out of our clouds. I had a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Let me know in the comments if you like kind of this new change of pace with the fast forward, or if you miss me talking to you while I'm painting. I'm still playing around with different things. Open to ideas. All right, thanks.